Even though most international headlines focus on sanctions, nuclear negotiations, and military confrontations, the real social diversity inside Iran is rarely discussed. Iran is not just one religion or one culture. Alongside its majority Muslim population, there are ancient Jewish and Christian communities, as well as Zoroastrians and other minorities who have lived in this land for centuries. One of the most surprising facts many outside observers don't know is that Iran still has one of the oldest Jewish communities in the world, with roots stretching back more than 2,500 years to the time of the Babylonian exile, long before Christianity or Islam arrived in the region. Today it is estimated that about 20,000 up to 25,000 Jews still live in Iran, making it the largest Jewish community in the Middle East outside of Israel itself. Synagogues, Hebrew schools, kosher bakeries, libraries, and a Jewish newspaper continue to operate in cities like Tehran, Isfahan, Shiraz, and Hamadan. Despite centuries of upheaval, Jews in Iran still maintain a distinct community life. Legally, Iranian Jews, like Christians and Zoroastrians, are recognized as official religious minorities under the constitution and even have a reserved seat in the national parliament, the Majlis. This is a remarkable fact that contradicts the common media portrayal of Iran as a totally monolithic, hostile society. In a region where religious minorities are often marginalized or persecuted without any representation, this constitutional inclusion is unique. But the reality of life for Iranian Jews is complex. After the 1979 Islamic Revolution, the once much larger Jewish population, which numbered around 80,000, declined sharply as many emigrated due to rising political uncertainty and fears about their future under a new Islamic government. Today, the community faces both legal limitations and social pressures. For example, Jews are officially permitted to practice their religion, maintain synagogues, and educate their children, but they are barred from serving in many high-level government positions and cannot freely proselytize. One of the biggest misconceptions in Western media is to equate Iran's political hostility toward Israel, particularly its anti-Zionist foreign policy, with antisemitism toward Jewish individuals inside Iran. While the state strongly opposes Zionism and Israeli policies, many scholars explain that this political stance is not the same as hatred toward Jews as a people or religion. In fact, Jewish Iranians often emphasize their deep cultural ties to Iran, distinct from the State of Israel. This distinction becomes especially important in the context of the current war between Iran, the United States, and Israel. Since late February 2026, a major joint military campaign by US and Israeli forces, launched under names like Operation Epic Fury or Operation Roaring Lion, dramatically escalated tensions, targeting key military facilities and leadership in Iran. Civilian infrastructure, including hospitals and public buildings, has also been hit in strikes across major cities like Tehran and Isfahan. For minorities like Jews, this escalation has created a deep sense of fear and uncertainty. Some Iranian Jewish families have reportedly fled major cities or kept a very low profile to avoid being caught in the crossfire, as everyday life grinds to a halt under constant threats of bombardment and panic. At the same time, there have been instances where Jews were questioned or detained by authorities on suspicion of contact with relatives in Israel. a stark reminder of how geopolitical conflict can quickly translate into internal pressure on religious minorities. Leaders of the Jewish community in Iran have had to walk a delicate tightrope, publicly condemning attacks on Iranian soil to reassure the state that they are loyal citizens, while privately struggling with the pain of seeing their ancestral kin in Israel engaged in a deadly conflict with their country of citizenship. In some synagogues, community leaders have even issued statements denouncing Israeli strikes to reinforce their loyalty to their nation and reduce the risk of backlash. Although the current war between Iran, Israel, and the United States has heightened tensions across the Middle East, Iranian Jews are not excluded from national obligations. They are part of Iranian society like any other citizen. Under Iran's compulsory military service law, all male citizens, including Jews, are required to serve in the armed forces when they reach conscription age. This means that there are Jewish Iranians who have served and fought for their country. Iranian military ceremonies have even honored Jewish soldiers who died in service, and communal leaders have spoken publicly about the Jewish community supporting Iran's sovereignty and national defense. These facts show that Iran's Jews, despite being a tiny minority, also participate in national life, including military service, driven by their identity as Iranians and their commitment to their homeland. This situation shows just how complicated identity can be in Iran, a nation officially at war with Israel, yet still home to one of the oldest Jewish populations in the world. Jews and Christians participate in national life, hold seats in parliament, and work to preserve centuries-old traditions, even as global headlines emphasize conflict and division. What the media rarely highlights is that Iran's internal religious landscape is far more diverse and intertwined than political narratives suggest. Religious minorities may face challenges, legal restrictions, social pressures, and increased uncertainty during wartime, but their existence underlines a deeper truth about Iran. It is a land of diverse peoples and histories that cannot be fully understood through the lens of war alone.